Diarrhea. Diarrhea. Right in the footwell.
Hi, you are listening to episode 62 of Podemup, where we're discussing popular Dreamcast driving game Metropolis Street Racer, as well as Mad Max, the Stop Killing Games petition for the EU, and all the best tips for getting a cat to come over to you. Puss, puss, puss. Stick with us on Podemup. Oh, and apologies for the particularly low quality sound of Tibbs' recording this month. He had to rely on his computer's built-in speaker, plus we couldn't get the recording off of it in the end, so we're also using the backup recording based on what my computer picked up of it. So, yeah, not the best he's ever sounded, but, you know, you can still hear what he's saying, so it'll be fine. Hello, welcome to episode 62 of the Podemup podcast. My name is Ollie, and he's back. His name is Tibbs.
Yes, back once again.
Back
like the Renegade Master.
That's what they call him.
Yes.
Yeah, sounding slightly different this month, but, you know, we're just going to go with it, see how it turns out.
I'm broadcasting from a small cave on the Plymouth coast.
Yes. Hello, how are you?
I'm okay.
Good.
I'm okay.
Good. So this month we are talking about Metropolis Street Racer on the Dreamcast later on. Before we talk about anything, Tibbs, you weren't here last month where we talked about Discworld 2 with our good friend Rick. I just wanted to catch up, see what you just the general thought about Discworld 2. We don't know what you thought about it.
I thought it was all right. Yeah, no, I liked it. I thought it was quite good. I tended to agree. I think you found the puzzles a little bit obtuse, shall we say? I tend to agree with that. I think some point-and-click adventures have a tendency, have a reputation for requiring what they call moon logic. Just crazy, out of the box, nonsensical answers to puzzles.
Oh yeah.
And I think it had a bit more of that than I personally like. Mm-hmm. But I think everything else spot on. I think that the animation, the characters, the voice acting, in every other aspect, I think is great. I think the puzzles are just very much an acquired taste. If you like that kind of game, if you like the really sort of lateral thinking, really crazy solutions to puzzles, if that's what you like, then yeah, it's perfect. But if you prefer something a little bit more logical, then you're probably not going to have such a good time with it.
If you like a chance at solving the puzzle within half an hour or so,
yes,
that's possibly not the game for you.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, good. Okay, great. Glad you enjoyed the other parts of it anyway. So what you've been up to in the last 2 months, I suppose?
Yeah, well...
Playing-wise?
Well, I don't know about game-wise, but let me tell you. I think I read this morning, Stray is being ported to the Switch.
It is, yeah, that's correct. So
that alone gives me justification for this tangent that I'm going to go on. But
okay.
So the reason that I've been off, as you know, the reason I was off on the last episode is that my dad's been a bit poorly. So I've been back and forward to my dad's for various reasons, helping him with medicine and just back and forward. So I was around there last night. Got to about I don't know what time it was. It was starting to get dark. Decided that time to go home.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking back home because I don't drive. There's a cat in the road, in the middle of the road. I'm thinking, what's going on here? And, me leave a cat in the road, it's unheard of. So
absolutely.
I gave it the puss, 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 got it towards me.
Oh, that's an achievement in itself. I can't get cats to do that.
It's all about the, it's the puss, puss, puss.
Yeah, you say puss, 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 I go to, and I do like a little twiddle thing between my thumb and two fingers.
You've got to do the twiddle with the thumb and the two fingers. That's a must.
That's a must. That's essential. Yeah.
Yeah, that works sometimes. I chose not to do that on this occasion because there were two people walking slightly ahead of me, and I thought they might think I was making the kissy kissy sound at them. So
fair enough.
I decided on this, make my intentions clear to all involved and go with the puss puss puss.
Puss, puss, yeah.
Anyway, he comes up to me. He's a tiny little cat, no older than must have been 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's too young to be out on his own.
Yeah.
He comes over for a bit of a fuss. I give him a little bit of a fuss, a little tickle under the chin. They love that.
Ooh, nice.
He's loving life.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, as young cats want to do, he spots something out of the corner and he starts pouncing on something in the grass. Right. He's all over the place. He's all over the shop. And he runs straight across the road, misses a car by a cat's whisker, if you'll excuse the pun.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I can't. What can I do? I can't let this stand. I got to scoop him up. So I scooped him up, took him home. So he comes home and comes into the flat.
Yeah.
Runs about. He's pulling all the tassels on the sofa. He's scratching things, but he's having a great time, and he's this lovely cat, really, really nice cat. And he eventually settled down. Only met him that night, and he sat next to us, and having his little belly rubbed, and just curled up in a ball. He's loving life.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to my partner, what are we going to do? I can't let him back out. He's obviously got no road sense. What are we going to do? So we phoned the vet this morning, and they said, bring him down. We'll check if he's got a little microchip in him.
Yep.
So that's what we did. In the middle of the night, he pulled down because we left him in the little hallway, the little hallway that connects all the rooms of the flat.
Yeah.
And we closed all the doors and just put him in there with some food and a little pillow for him to sleep on. But we left a dryer, like a clothes horse for drying clothes on.
Yeah.
In the morning, he'd pulled all that down, collapsed the whole thing, which was good. Anyway, we took him down to the vet. They scanned him. He had got a chip.
Yeah.
It turns out his name's Rory the cat.
Right.
The owner said he's an outdoor cat. So can we bring him back? I'm at work. That's what the person said. But if you bring him back to this spot, just let him out of the car and let him go on his way.
Yeah.
So we did that.
Mm-hmm.
On the way to the vet, on the way down, he's perfect. He's fine. He's lovely. Right?
Yeah.
He sat on my lap in the car, not panicked, perfectly calm.
Yeah.
Sweetest cat. On the way back, like a cat possessed. Like a cat possessed. Meowing, claws coming out. I've got scratches right through the denims, into my knee, big scratches. Meowing. He jumps down into the footwell, and he has the runs.
Oh,
diarrhea.
no. Oh.
Diarrhea right in the footwell.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bad times.
Bad times. And the smell, unbelievable.
I can imagine, yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
Strip paint. It was really terrible. So he does that. He leaves it there, right in between my feet.
Well, he wouldn't clear it up after himself, would he?
No, didn't even try to bury it though.
No,
because sometimes they do. Even if there's nothing there, even if it's just flat surface, they still go through the motion.
Oh, okay. He didn't bother. No.
Didn't even, not the politeness to even.
That's just plain rude, isn't it?
So then he thinks, presumably, I'm not sitting there. It stinks. So he crawls under the seat of the car while this is all in motion, up onto the back, where the boot is.
Oh, right.
And he sits there, and my partner's driving along. She didn't realise this was going on. She looked in the room. What's he doing? He's in the back. How did he get there? So it's all going on. But long story short, we drop him off.
Yeah.
he runs straight back into the middle of the road again and sits down and starts licking his bum.
Right, so literally exactly where you picked him up from.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Right.
So I walked out into the road, I lifted him up, put him in the garden, and then, I don't personally, and my partner agrees, we don't personally think he's ready to be an outdoor cat. He hasn't got the road sense, but he's not our cat.
No,
he belongs to someone.
Exactly.
Yeah. Our hands are really tied, so we put him in the safest place we could, and we came home.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is Stray is coming out on Nintendo Switch.
No, I really enjoyed that. I did think, I must admit, at what point is Stray going to weave its way into the story, other than the fact that they're both about cats? But still,
well, that is basically it. Yeah.
No, but it's a good story. I think everyone enjoyed hearing that, especially cat lovers, and I think it was worth listening to. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you like I say, you can't leave a cat in the road.
No.
That's my advice for any situation.
That's right.
Yeah, and he didn't have a collar. If he had a collar and it just said who he was, we'd have just rang the number on the collar and said, "Listen, your cat's being a bit of a donut in the road. Can we bring him home?"
That's a lot easier than a microchip, because most people don't have the capacity to examine microchips on cats.
Yeah,
exactly. In their own home, so a little collar would work a treat, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, I think because you can get special collars, you get like collars, particularly for cats, that detach and break easily in case they jump over a fence and it gets caught or something. The collar will break away for safety. And given his adrenaline junkie self that he seemed to be, then yeah, that's what I think happened. But yeah. So there you go, Rory the cat. He's safe at home now, and all is well with the world.
Hopefully, that's where he'll remain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay away from roads.
Yeah. And speaking of roads, the other game I played was Mad Max. Okay. He drives on the road.
He does drive on. Nice segue. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go on then, Mad Max. Yeah.
That's all right. It's a good game. I don't know much about Mad Max, to be honest.
No, I don't know.
I've seen Fury Road. I've probably seen the older Mad Max films at some point, but I can't remember much about them other than they got a bloke called Max in it, and
and he's probably mad.
He's mad, and he drives spiky cars. Yeah. Game's quite good though. You meet this little hunchback. He's going to eat your dog, but then he doesn't eat the dog, and the dog just comes along with you, hunts out landmines and stuff. The hunchback fixes your car. You go around, you beat up mutants and things like that. It's a good game. I enjoyed it. The only thing I would say, the whole game is about Mad Max, obviously, and he's got this thing where he doesn't want. Mad Max. I hate everyone. Everyone sucks. And his character sort of arc is him learning that, actually having people around you to help you on your quest probably isn't such a bad thing, all things considered.
Right.
Without any spoilers, right? The ending throws all that in the bin, and he's back to square one. He makes absolutely no character development whatsoever.
Okay.
Absolutely none.
Yeah, that thing I learned about people not being so bad. Well,
Sodom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so disappointed with it, because you get to like him, and you get to like these other characters that you come across, and literally the last third of the game just throws it all in the bin, and but by the end of the game, it's all gone. Everything, nothing. It was for nothing.
So he's literally back to the beginning again.
Literally,
there was no point in playing the whole game at all.
Yeah, and I won't say who, but it's not a spoiler to say that any game you play, certain characters in story-driven games, some characters are probably going to die.
Yeah,
and there are some characters who don't make it through the whole story. The post-game thing, you finish game, credits come up, a little message comes up and says they're all back now. So if it literally says that. It literally says they're all back now. So if there's any missions you want to finish, just go back to it.
By the way, they didn't die after all.
Yeah. It's fine. They're just there.
There's elaborate reasons for the fact that they all survived in their own individual ways, but we just can't be bothered to tell you about it.
We're not going to tell you about them. They're just there. Accept it and finish whatever missions you want. So I turn it off after that. But it was an enjoyable romp up until that point. But yeah, character development was for nothing in the long and short of it.
It's interesting. It reminds me of a thought I've had recently about comparing games to TV shows, because if you're watching a TV show and the ending doesn't pan out and it's all a load of rubbish, basically, that ruins the entire TV show for you, doesn't it?
Yeah,
really? That is just everything about it you enjoyed up until that point is just all for nothing because it was a bad ending and it just
ending
finishes the whole thing. I often think games aren't really like that, because if you enjoy a game, any part of a game, there's nothing later on in the game that can really take that away because you enjoyed that part. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
But if it's tied into a story like that, then I suppose it's got that same problem that TV shows have. If you're playing for the plot, then I guess there's that. The ending has to be good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the British Empire.
I knew we were all knowing that you were going to go there. Yeah.
The end of it was all a dream.
It was all a dream. That's right. It was one of those all a dream, wasn't it?
Unbelievable. That ruined it for me personally. That's an example.
It ruined
it ruined the British Empire for me. You know. But you know.
There you go. It was all a dream. Spoilers if you're still working your way through the British Empire. It was all a dream.
Yeah, it was all a dream. He was going for a job interview all along.
Yeah, that's right. It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird.
It was like the last episode where he he didn't cook the rice properly and he killed the whole boardroom of people, didn't he? Was that...
Yes. I think there's a lot of deaths in the British Empire.
I think
Colin who electrocuted all the swimmers?
Oh,
do you remember?
Possibly.
Dropped the lights in the swimming pool. There's just all he goes in. There's just all corpses floating in the pool.
So dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, God, we're going on some tangents here in this episode. Fantastic.
Yeah, there you go. See, what it was, I listened to the last episode. I thought, Rick's actually pretty good at this. I got to bring my
You've got to step your game up, absolutely. Otherwise, going to take your job. That's right.
I've got to assert dominance upon my return.
Yeah, how are we going to do that? Cat stories and British Empire.
British Empire, perfect.
Yeah.
Textbook.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so. No, okay. No. That's pretty much taken up most of my
yeah, I don't have much either, but luckily you've put that stuff in there, so we don't have to worry too much. Basically, I haven't played loads this month. I did go on holiday for a week, which kind of upset my normal gaming routine. But I did get a little go on, again, like last year, the Mega Drive Mini 2. So I progressed a bit more on my Truxton game that I left alone for a year. So that's good. Other than that, yeah, probably a couple of mentions for the things that I mentioned last month, possibly to give you a chance to interject your own opinions, maybe. Forza Horizon 4.
Oh, yeah, I bought that as well, yeah.
Yeah, because that's going to be discontinued soon.
Yeah.
Sadly, because it's full of licensed stuff. Which means that they can't continue to sell it in this wonderful world of
digital distribution,
which we're going to talk about a bit in the news, I think. But yeah, it's all right. It's good.
Yeah, I liked it. It runs really nicely on the Steam Deck as well, which surprised me.
Yeah, it runs nicely on my PC as well, so it's good.
Yeah.
It's nice just like I was saying to Rick last month. It's nice to just go around like England, and Scotland and that sort of area, and like familiar looking road signs and things.
Just
like
nice local representation.
Yes, good. And I like that you can just drive and you just drive across fields if you want. It's really good. Yeah. So I haven't done too much of it, but I feel like there's loads crammed in there and everything to.
Oh, there's tons. Yeah.
Yeah, and Zelda Spirit Tracks was the other one. I'm slowly working through. I've done the first dungeon. I'm on my way to the second one. I haven't really had a lot of time on it this month. But that's one of the DS games. I was mainly drawn to it because I liked the idea of riding a little train around. So it's in the Wind Waker style. So it's that cartoony Link. So
I actually really like that style.
I do.
I said that when we talked about Wind Waker, but I really like it. I know it put people's noses out of joint when it first came out, but I think it's lovely.
I love it. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's beautiful. It doesn't age. Even the DS.
Yeah, exactly.
This DS game, I'm playing on emulator, so it's blown up, but it still looks amazing, really. So yeah, I quite like the idea of running around a little train. Also, I've kind of got an idea in my head that I might do a train-based game one day. Like if I want to start my own game, I've got this idea for a sort of a train, basically like that, but without the Zelda-y stuff, just riding a little train around a nice area.
Oh.
So,
yeah,
I mostly wanted to play it just to check it out and see how it played, to get some ideas for it. But it's also a good Zelda game as well. And a bit of Mario Wonder, me and Alice have been playing, actually.
Oh, yeah, I love Mario Wonder.
Yeah, we're only on the second world, but it's nice. It's good.
Oh, it's a great game. I love it.
Yeah. So that's all, really. We can crack on with the news if you like.
No, I bought Mortal Kombat 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I refunded it.
Oh, yeah, I saw your tweet about it. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, didn't run on the Steam Deck. Ran terribly. Ran like a dog.
Oh, dear,
a bad
that's
dog.
a shame.
Three-legged dog.
Because that's quite recent. That's more recent than the Steam Deck came out, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's verified as well. Usually you get that green tick, then you know you're in for a good time. But no, I was at a bad time. Bad time.
It's a shame, and they still haven't patched that and corrected it or anything.
No. But they gave me the refund. Actually, the first refund I've ever asked for on Steam. But I bought Street Fighter 6 instead, which was I had like a discount voucher from Humble, so I ended up spending like £5 less than I did on Mortal Kombat. It's good. It's Street Fighter.
It was very highly rated, I think.
It's very good. I'm rubbish at it, but it's still good fun, and I think that's a sign of a good fighting game. If you're rubbish at it, then you can still have a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I've played it for about an hour. So I'm only about halfway to being sort of pro league level.
Yeah.
Give me another hour or two, and I'll be
You'll be right there. Yeah, catch up. With
I'll be at Evo next year. On the big stage.
Yeah.
The showcase of the Immortals.
That's right.
Yeah. Should we go to the news then?
Yeah.
News.
So Xbox Live Arcade is now no more, sadly. That went and gone. It's gone. I was hanging around there on the last day, doing like a final sweep, see if I get any interesting demos or something. I got Choplifter HD for like £1.50 or something. That's quite good. Yeah, it's all right. It's like a nice little helicopter shooty game.
Did they do any kind of like, goodbye sale? Any like really deep discounts for the last hurrah?
I think there's a few discounts around. That was discounted.
Cool.
But I didn't see a lot of it going on, I must admit. You'd think so. You'd think they'd just sell everything for like £1 or something, wouldn't you?
I was going to say, it seems like a perfect opportunity for like a big, showcase sale.
Well, exactly, because if you keep everything at standard price, you're less likely to sell them, I think. Well, I don't know, maybe they think that, this is the last time people are going to get some of these games. Keep the price up, they'll buy it. Maybe, I don't know. But think as a gesture of goodwill, you're taking it down. You might as well just say have each one for £1 or something.
Yeah.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But no. I'm sure they could have kept it just kicking around at the back. I mean, a lot of those games are pretty tiny. It was. I mean, initially they had like 100 megabyte limit or something, didn't they?
It's Microsoft we're talking about. It's not like they've got any shortage of server space bandwidth.
If you think about like the amount of crap that YouTube has on servers,
exactly,
unbelievable amounts of data floating around there.
Yeah.
You think that the entire Xbox Live Arcade library, you could fit it on a few terabytes hard drive, probably, couldn't you?
Well, I mean, how difficult would it be, honestly, if they did it in like a torrent form? They could just push an update, so it just pulls the data for, they could seed it from their server, but then everyone else who's got it downloaded, just share it amongst everyone.
Yeah.
They could do something like that if they really wanted to do a preservation thing.
Well, they keep saying they're all about preservation, don't they?
I know.
But it's just, they don't actually do any steps to actually...
Nothing meaningful, no.
I got one other bit of news to talk about. This Stop Killing Games petition.
Oh, yeah,
EU. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there was a petition going around, brought to my attention by YouTube user Accursed Farms. So there's a petition to try and get games companies to leave games that have an online requirement when they decide to stop supporting them, to maybe try and leave them in some sort of playable state so as to preserve them. So if you got like online, like MMOs and things like that, just be able to have people host servers and stuff. And for any sort of single player games that are just tied into these servers and things, just put out a patch to let them do some things on their own without having to call the server every now and then.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly reasonable to me.
I mean, it seems like that should be the default position. Exactly. You shouldn't need a petition to make this happen.
No, but unfortunately, there is no requirement for games developers to do any such thing. They can just, like we were talking earlier with Forza, they can just say, we're not going to sell this anymore. I mean, Forza will still work, won't it? I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But for whatever reason, whether it's licensing or whatever, or the game isn't as popular as it used to, so that at some point they just cut it off and say we can't support this anymore. But they need this is only for the EU, so we're not in the EU anymore, so we can't do anything about this. But anyone who is still in the EU, they can go to stopkillinggames.com, which has all the information about it, a nice FAQ to explain everything. You basically just need to sign this, and it's got a year to get 1 million signatures. And I believe certain countries need to reach certain thresholds within that as well. It's doing quite well. I think it's on about 200. Is it 250,000 or something?
I was going to say, yeah, it's a 250,000 already.
It's a quarter of the way already, and I think Finland has reached the. Is it Finland? Yeah, Finland's reached the 232,000. So nearly a quarter of the way there. Finland's reached the threshold already. There's a few others looking good. So yeah, if you are, it's worth getting the word out. If you're in Europe and you're in the EU and you're listening to this, and it sounds like something you might want to vote, just throw a vote in. I think it takes like 2 minutes or whatever.
Yeah,
and it will help a lot. And then they discuss it, in the Parliament or whatever, and we might have a chance of, making it sort of a law really in Europe. And if publishers have to adhere to that in Europe, they'll adhere to it everywhere. That's the theory.
That's the theory. I got to be honest, I don't fancy their chances of having a law enacted to force companies to keep something active. I think the best they could hope for is some kind of law or an exception added to copyright law that allows people to, once a game has been officially discontinued, then it's fair game for people to hack and upload their own custom servers. There'll be a copyright exemption, so they can't have takedown notices against them. They can't be taken to court for making a custom server afterwards. I think that's the best outcome.
I think that would be a good sort of compromise.
I think that's a good compromise, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fair enough. If you're taking your product down, you should then allow people to just carry on using it as they see fit. Even if that means hacking it and doing things you wouldn't normally allow it when it's active. Because what's the difference really to you? You're not selling it anymore. You're not losing any money.
Once there's no commercial loss to it, then it should be fair game to everyone. I think it would be too onerous to expect a company to just, even like a small, because it would affect the developers of all sizes. Say a small company, made a little game and it required a server for online play or something, and it didn't sell. They would still be forced to keep that server running in perpetuity, even if, for a small company, that might be, an unrealistic expectation. So I think that the best balance of all worlds would be, once a game's been officially discontinued, then the community are free to do with whatever they want.
I think that's best. Yeah, I mean, there's an argument from the developer's point of view that if anyone's accessing the old games, maybe they won't access the new ones that they are currently selling and making money for them if they're in the same sort of vein. But I mean, deal with it.
Yeah,
basically.
I was gonna say the answer to that's tough. To be honest,
that's up to you to make the new product more appealing, then, isn't it?
Precisely. Yeah, if the new game's good enough, people are going to want to play it, aren't they?
Exactly. You've got to make it good enough to make them want, that instead or both.
When Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, no one's going to be pirating Grand Theft Auto 5 instead, because they're going to want to play Grand Theft Auto 6. If you make a big enough, something attractive enough to make people want to play it, you don't need to worry about what people are doing with the old one. It just doesn't matter.
No, exactly. Right, incoming indies?
Incoming indies.
Incoming indie.
All right, we got the game that we want to talk about, plus I've got another one as well, so it's a double incoming indie this month. Go on then. What's your one?
I don't know what it's called.
It's called
it's Chibi Robo.
It's not Chibi Robo, it's Co-Robo.
Co-Robo.
Yeah.
Co-Robo.
All similarities to Chibi Robo are purely coincidental.
Yes, it's a legally distinct tiny robot.
Yes, it is, yeah. So this is on Kickstarter. This is from the team who made Chibi Robo, I believe.
Yes.
Is it Skip Limited, yeah?
Yeah.
So they're not, tied to Nintendo anymore, so they obviously can't use Chibi Robo, I guess. So they've got their own version. It's just as good. It's called Co-Robo. So it's on Kickstarter. We'll stick the link in the show notes.
Yeah.
It looks pretty much the same, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's a ketchup catsup thing, isn't there?
It is. Yes, it is. So it's aiming for release in 25-26 on Steam and maybe consoles. Those are stretch goals, but I think it looks like it might just about reach its target, but maybe not much further than that. Maybe.
I was going to say, I think it's going to limp past the line. I don't know if it's going to reach any of the stretch goals.
Yeah, but I mean, it's nice to see.
Oh yeah, it's great. I'm going to back it. It's Chibi Robo.
Yeah,
But it's got a Co-Robo.
Co-Robo, yeah, it's not Chibi Robo. No, I like some of the descriptions.
It's not Chibi Robo.
Even some of the descriptions in there sort of hint at that. Like I've copied a couple of quotes. Like, so the story is Tom and his mother are celebrating his 10th birthday. When a wrapped present arrives, Tom rips through it, excited to see what's inside. What he finds is not the coolest and latest in tiny household robotech, but some knockoff model Co-Robo. That's bogus.
I love it.
Another one. While more popular robots require you to plug into Adventure, Co-Robo needs to bathe in some rays in order to charge the solar battery strapped to his back.
Brilliant.
I like it. It's good.
It's great.
Yeah, they're very self-aware. Everyone knows this is Chibi Robo in all but name, really, but it's good. I like it.
I'd like to see more developers do things like that, to be honest.
Yeah.
When the big publisher doesn't have any interest in pursuing that idea anymore for whatever reason, just go it alone.
Yeah.
Just give it a shot.
Do something that everyone knows is the same thing, but has enough changes to make it legally distinct. Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking forward to what would be a different one to in-run instead of outrun.
In-run.
In-run. In-jog.
Is that one you've just made up, or is that a real thing?
No, that's one I just made up.
Oh,
they
okay,
can have
that's
that, though.
But yeah, anyone who's interested in making an outrun, there you go. Tibbs has given you that for free.
Bronze Sword. That's another one.
Yep.
To the Golden
Bronze
Axe.
Sword. Yep.
Streets or Roads of
Myth.
Miffed.
Miffed. Roads of Miffed.
Roads of Miffed. Yeah, maybe it's not such a good
Roads
idea.
of Irritation.
Roads of Irritation.
Right. Anyway, another incoming indie I've got is Rad Venture. This is a 3D platform game starring Rad. He's a sort of a crocodile-looking character.
I'm going to say, I think I have seen this.
Yeah, I've played it before. It's been in Sages before, in the Sage events. It's a bit Rayman, it's a bit Sonic. Fairly sort of open exploration levels. There's a demo out on Steam now, so go and check it out. It's called Rad Venture. There's a really nice hub city area, which is in a previous demo, but not this current one. But it looks really nice to explore. It's a little rough around the edges here and there, but there's so much potential in it. It plays quite nicely, really. Handles and everything. He's got some nice moves. He throws his. He's got like same as Rayman, like hands that float around and stuff. So he sort of sends them out and grabs things, then pulls himself towards them like a homing attack kind of thing. Can fly around like Rayman does, like hover. It's nice.
It is weird that like throwing your own body parts though, isn't it?
It's kind of weird, yeah. Like where's the physics in that? Like, how far can you remove it before it's not part of you anymore?
Yeah, exactly. At what point does it become its own entity?
Yeah, like Thing from the Addams Family.
Yeah,
Thing.
Thing. Yeah, little hand.
Yeah, is he part of a? Is he got a Rayman deal and his hand just wandered away too far and now he's not part of the body anymore?
Yeah, yeah.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It'd be good if they did like Olympic boxing. They just threw their fists at each other, wouldn't it?
That would be quite good, yeah.
They should do a game of that.
That was in Wii boxing, wasn't it? Like the boxing guys were like detached from the player, weren't they?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's done it.
Yeah. Well, and in arms basically, although they were sort of attached.
Oh, they
came out
springs,
really far, didn't they? On springs.
They were
not
on
quite
springs.
the same thing. Yeah. Anyway,
I completely forgot about arms. Like I suppose, like the rest of the world.
I think everyone did. Yeah. I mean, Nintendo came. Well, it was a launch game, wasn't it? And it was an original property, which Nintendo do like once a generation, basically.
Yeah, there were no word of a sequel. Nothing. It's just gone.
Just gone. Yeah. This could do with a bit of funding. Actually, it could do with a bit of support because it started out well, but it's sort of it's quite early on in the Kickstarter thing, but I follow the guy on Twitter and he tweets a lot about it, and he could do with a bit of support. So if this sounds your sort of thing, go and check it out. It's good.
Yeah, definitely check it out. I will. That's another one I'm going to back because I like the sound of that. I've seen it. I didn't know what I didn't recognise the name, but I think you must have tweeted about it.
I think I tweeted. I retweeted one of his tweets recently, and you probably saw that.
I remember seeing like someone linked a video with some gameplay and stuff, and I thought that looks very good.
Looks nice. Yeah. Does look good. Check it out. Right then, it's all set for Metropolis Street Racer, are we?
Yeah, mostly.
Mostly.
Well, I haven't played much of it because I've been having other, other things on the boil, other pots, other broth in the pot.
That's all right. That's quite understandable. You've had this cat to deal with. You've had you've had it all going on. Yeah.
I still love him though.
Of course, yeah.
I only had him for a day, but he's still lovely. But okay. Mm-hmm. Good old Rory the cat. Yeah.
There's some cats out the back that we're trying to, do little, but we just can't get anywhere with them. We've got Mia next door. It's a black and white, lovely thing. And we've got Freddie and Wally next door, lovely ginger ones. But they won't come. They won't come anywhere near us. Very skittish. Just run away from us as soon as we come out now.
What you got to do? You kneel down.
Yeah.
Get down to their level.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Hand out 2 fingers. Right. For your index finger, ring finger.
Yeah.
Rest of them all closed in, and just hold it out. They come up and they give the end of your finger a little sniff. It's like a greeting for cats. It's like shaking hands. So they come up, they give it a little sniff, and then that's it. Then you just let it build up the trust, and then you can go for the little head scratch.
Yeah. I know. We've been trying. Can't get anywhere yet though. But
well, the other thing is just cover yourself with catnip before you go out.
Well, that's true. That'll work as well.
Yeah. All good techniques.
Anyway, yeah, let's crack on, shall we? We'll see you after the break.
The Video Game Book Club.
Metropolis Street Racer is the game that we are talking about this month. This was developed by Bizarre Creations and published by Sega. It was released for the Sega Dreamcast in November 2000 in Europe and January 2001 in the US. Plans for a Japanese release were cancelled after Sega discontinued support for the Dreamcast. It's dirt cheap, actually, this, for some reason.
Peanuts.
If you are paying more than £10 to £15, then you are paying too much, basically.
Yes.
It's a very abundant game, seemingly. It's never directly ported to anything else, but it lived on by spawning a franchise that you may know better as the Project Gotham Racing games for Xbox and the 360. This is basically Project Gotham Racing Zero.
I was going to say they're basically the same game.
Yeah. I thought at first that I didn't have many of those, but I've actually got 3 out of 4 of them because they are even cheaper. They are for pennies, basically. I think.
I know they are. They're so cheap. I think I've got the ones on the original Xbox. So I got Project Gotham on the Xbox. I think I've got Project Gotham Racing 3, but I don't know if I've got the others. Okay,
I got 1, 2, and 3. I got 3 with my. I bought a second Xbox, which came with it. And yeah, I got the other 2 for 20p each or something insane like that, you know. So I think you could easily get the whole series for less than 20 quid, I think.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah. So on the surface, pretty straight car racing game to look at it. There's no story, there's no characters, no dialogue. Not normally the kind of thing we do a lot of in the book club, because we tend to look for things that have like angles and things. But I think this one, gameplay wise, this one definitely has stuff.
Definitely qualified.
Yeah. So I had this for my Dreamcast at the time. I did too. Yeah, I don't particularly remember why as such. I'm not normally drawn to like serious type games like this at that time. I assume it's just because Dreamcast magazine told me I should be getting it, basically. I think I was just, you know, such as the power it had over me at the time.
I think it's just one of those games that everyone seems like you get, like everyone who's got an N64 has GoldenEye, everyone who's got a PlayStation has Crash Bandicoot. It's just one of those games that everyone just seems to have.
You picked it up at some point, didn't you? Yeah. That's good. Yeah. It's a very, very stylish game.
Mm-hmm.
One look at the intro and like the menu, somehow at the time it looked to me like a far more grown-up game than anything else I was playing at the time. You know, this felt like a game for adults, you know, but it's good. So it features courses set on the streets of London, San Francisco, and Tokyo. Particularly noteworthy at the time, I think, for its accurate representations of those cities.
Supposedly.
Like really down to the roads and all the buildings around it. They took apparently 40,000 photographs of these environments, and even put some of the textures into the buildings as well from those photos. And for the time, you know, it's even now it still looks impressive, really.
Yeah. I mean, the Driver on the PS1, that was supposedly the buildings and stuff obviously weren't, but apparently the road layouts were accurate to I don't know, was it Miami or wherever it was set. They were. Because one of the reviewers I remember reading at the time said he was shocked when he could find his way from his office to Ocean Drive just in the game from memory, using the same roads he would go. In, you know, so, but nothing compared to what Metropolis Street Racer did. You know, they really, like you say, with all the photographs and the textures and everything, it really is. I don't know how accurate the road layouts are in London, but certainly the atmosphere and the ambience of it is spot on. I think it's perfect.
Yeah. So it's got a nice time zone and day-night system as well.
Yeah.
So you at the start of the game you set the clock, and it works to the Dreamcast real-time clock, but you can adjust it to what you want, and it's the time zone corresponds with all 3 of those areas. So if you set 9 p.m. in London, it's going to be however minutes, 7 hours ahead in Tokyo, something like that, and then another 7 hours back, I suppose, that's on the other way, something like that, which is great. But the kudos system is the thing that stands out best. I really liked the way it works. It just seemed that, like mechanically, it just, I don't know. It's not. It doesn't. When you write it out, it doesn't seem like that amazing idea, especially now. But I mean, for the time, it just adds a whole other dimension to the.
Well, the thing is, I'm going to say, I mean, it's basically like a style meter, isn't it? So you're not just judged on whether you're first or whether you're getting good times or not. It's how well you handle the car, how stylishly you take the corners and the overtake, and it's all it's style points basically. And I might be wrong, but I don't remember any other game before it doing that.
No,
I can't think of a single game before it that had a mechanic like that. That was something completely new to the racing genre, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, and one of the key things is you can adjust the success criteria for each challenge as well. And by making it harder, so say you've got a challenge to beat a certain time around the course, if you lower that time, you can choose to lower it, and then you'll get more kudos. The whole currency is these kudos points in the whole game. It's what you use to unlock new challenges and everything. And you get more kudos points the harder you make these challenges if you succeed. And it's quite brutal as well, because if you don't succeed, then each challenge you get the kudos from each one, and that's it. If you try again, you lose the kudos that you achieved for that and replace it with the new kudos amount that you get for your last attempt.
Yeah.
And if you fail or if you quit, you get minus kudos, and it takes away from your total. So you've got to. It's like getting all your best times, all your best performances all tallied up together. So that's how you unlock the next chapter of challenges and things.
Yeah.
So you've really got to go back and be careful, and so you're gambling your own kudos every time you do it. So it's interesting.
It is. It's really interesting. Interesting.
When you consider that most racing games say, okay, this is your challenge, beat it, and then you just do it, and then you move on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. This is a game that makes sure you get every challenge you decide to really go for, you have to get it right. You have to do the best you can, really, because I only got to the third chapter, and out of interest, you can scroll up to see how many there are. And I scrolled, and I thought, this is taking me ages to get through. There's probably only like 8 chapters, and I kept scrolling, and it kept going down, and I get all the way to 25, chapter 25. Each one with about 10 challenges in it, I think, and each one has a certain amount of kudos needed, a total kudos from all the challenges to unlock each chapter, and they are quite tough, aren't they? They're quite high amounts.
Yeah.
I was ages just on chapter 1, just trying to get to chapter 2. Like, how is this not enough? I'm doing the best I can, but I'm still getting like quite small amounts.
That's the thing. I'm not great at racing games anyway, to be honest. Some of them I can be okay at, but the more realistic they are, and the less arcadey they are, the worse I tend to be at.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I'm a bit handicapped in that regard, in terms of the skill level, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But you can. The good thing about it is you can practice each course as many times as you want before you decide to go for each challenge. Which I quite appreciate. It doesn't have there's a number of different challenges that you can do. You can do the lap times. You can have a straight sort of street race. There's some interesting ones sometimes where you have to. I was doing one where you have to achieve an average speed across like 3 laps, so you can't slow down too much. That kind of thing. There's one-on-one races, so you can practice on the course that takes place in, but you can't necessarily apply those challenges. Like if you're racing against people, you won't plonk those other cars in there. You have to practice the course like a time trial kind of thing, and then you decide, okay, I want to go for this challenge because I think I can do it, and that's when you have to race against the people, or you have to apply the specific criteria to the challenge.
Yeah.
And you get penalties for collisions as well, and hitting like the edges of the road, and that takes away some kudos at the end. It tallies it all up. So it's really quite strict. It wants you to be really good at this game. This is a game that doesn't accept you just completing a mission and then never going back to it again. Just keep going on and on and on and on. It was interesting because I was kind of playing this in parallel with Forza 4.
Yeah.
Which was interesting really, because although I didn't get amazingly far in Forza 4, it felt there was an element of superficialness to it compared to this, because I could just go, I'll go here, do this challenge, whatever happens, I'll just go away and do another one and just carry on. And things seemed to keep unlocking, and it just wants you to carry on, basically.
Yeah.
Whereas this game just said, no, you haven't done this one well enough. You need a good amount of kudos from them in total. So there can be ones that you can sort of leave there and be a bit rubbish at, but in that case, some other ones you've got to be really, really good at them.
Yeah.
So yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think they're a very interesting developer. I think they've got Bizarre Creations themselves. I think they've got the rough end of the stick a little bit. I think. I don't think Metropolis Street Racer gets the recognition it deserves, and I kind of feel like Project Gotham Racing almost feels like it played second fiddle to the Forza games. It was sort of overshadowed by Forza Horizon, Forza Motorsport, and a lot of the games in there, because the first game I played from them, I don't know if it's their very first game, but they made the original Formula One game on the PlayStation and F1 '97 as well, which are two of the best Formula One games of that generation for my money.
Okay.
And they also did a game called Blur, which is a fantastic game. It's such a good fun. It's just like a racing game with normal cars, but you get like weapons and power ups as well.
Cool. Okay.
It's a really, really good fun game. And it just, for some reason, it just never clicked. And that seems to be a recurring thing. They've got these really neat ideas. They put these neat little twists on racing and the racing genre in general. And it attracts an audience and it gets good critical acclaim, but it never quite reached that, that level where it becomes a stone cold classic with people. And I think it's a shame.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a shame. Yes. Well, we're here to highlight things like that, and so.
And Geometry Wars was them as well.
Oh yeah, that's from them as well. That's probably that's kind of a legacy for them since then, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
It was, what was that? That was a sort of a.
It was like a
mini game.
A mini game in Project Gotham Race. Was it Racing 1 or 2? Yeah.
It's one or two, and then it became an Xbox Live on the original Xbox, I think. A little mini game, and then it went from there, really, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but they're one of these developers that are just packed full of interesting ideas. And I don't, they never, because I think they're disbanded now, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's just a shame. They got this legacy of all these great little games and these great little ideas that never got quite to the level I think they deserve. So yeah, go buy it and listen to our show, and then give them some money.
Well, you can't anymore. They're not there. But
no.
Give the money to someone else who owns the games, and then
the
Jokers helped though. Certainly helped progression.
Yes.
That was kind of crucial to get it out of both Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 for me, really. So you get this at certain times. I'm not quite sure what the criteria is for it, but you get this Joker card, and at any time you get one chance to play your Joker card. Before you choose to play a challenge, and before you set the criteria for it. So if you're really good at a challenge and you can do it really well, and you can get a lot of kudos for it, play this Joker, set the criteria quite challenging, and it will double the amount of kudos you get. And it can get quite high then, and that was absolutely instrumental in getting out of those chapters for me. Otherwise, I think I'd still be on Chapter 1, to be honest. But you only get one chance each for those, and if you blow it, if you put it in there and you don't achieve that thing, then that's I think you're screwed a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't. I found the one-on-ones particularly difficult. So you can actually adjust the head start that you give the rival character. Like, it's just a one-on-one race, but you can give them a head start, and if you then beat them again, you'll get more kudos. And you can also give yourself a head start, but that'll be, so little amount, probably not worth doing.
I can say not worth really doing it.
Yeah, and on that vein, the championships, which I think come at the end of each one, so you get at least a couple of different races together. Unless you really go for first place in both of them, they were worth peanuts by the end. I put a lot of time in trying to get those, and I just couldn't get a decent amount of kudos out of either of those that I tried. I like the one where you had to overtake a certain number of cars going around as well. That was quite.
Yeah, like I say, I like the challenges like that, because we mentioned Outrun earlier jokingly, but Outrun 2 or 2006 does the same sort of thing where you overtake a set number of cars or do
the heart. Is it the heart?
Yeah, the heart
attack
mode. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more sort of racing games do things like that, more challenges on the track rather than just
yes, first. Sometimes you get racing games that do try and go out of the box a bit and try and think what kind of interesting challenges can we make, because otherwise it's just a car driving around the same track, isn't it? So there are interesting things you can do within that challenge yourself. So it's
going back to a previous episode when we played Drive of San Francisco.
Yeah.
One of the missions there was you had to come first and second.
I know, but
I love that. I love little twists that you've never seen before on a racing game.
Only possible with the mechanic of that in that game where you jumped between the cars, obviously. But great idea, fantastic. Yeah, 262 tracks in total in this game across those three environments, which is loads, really, isn't it? Like, there's a lot of content here. Loads of it.
It is loads. I mean, a lot of those are, they're variations on quite small tracks.
Oh yeah, of course they are. They're not all original things, but they are.
No.
They've got a grid. They've worked out a certain grid within London and San Francisco, etc., of the roads.
Yeah.
And they just map out certain routes within there. That's a loop. So, but still, it's some.
It's a lot of content.
The fact that they can get 262 distinct tracks out of those three is pretty impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got cars written down here, but my knowledge of cars is basically zero. Like you said earlier, you said you don't drive. I don't drive either. My wife does driving, and I don't give a crap about cars. I do not care about cars at all. So all the names, I think it's got all the standard names and licenses, but I don't. They may as well just be knockoffs to me. I really don't care. That's why I would say if Sega aren't making a new Outrun just because they don't have the Ferrari license, it's just like the worst reason not to.
I know.
Like, who cares? Does anyone really care that it wouldn't be a real Ferrari if they did a knockoff one?
Yeah, no one's playing Outrun so they can drive a Ferrari. The original Outrun, it was obviously a Ferrari, but they didn't have the license, so they just didn't name it. They just said
matter.
It's just a red car.
Doesn't matter. I couldn't care less. Absolutely couldn't care less. But I thought the garage system was interesting. So you unlock new cars that are available in your selection at certain points in the chapters. But rather than just being able to choose all of them, you have only a garage of 3 cars, like 3 slots for cars.
Mm.
And you have to, so basically you take ownership of these cars and you can choose other ones, you can test drive them, and if you want to select them you have to boot out another car, even at the cost of very small cost of kudos, interestingly. Like you have to lose some of your kudos just to get rid of one of your cars, which is
that doesn't really make much sense, does it?
That doesn't, no, but it's a strange decision. But then you get your new car, so you have to think carefully about the cars. But I thought that was quite an interesting idea. Let's talk about the music, shall we?
Yes.
So there's an in-car radio system when you drive, and each city has sort of multiple fictitious radio stations. And I think it's the first time a driving game did it, really.
I was going to say, I think
it was
so.
in earlier GTAs before it, maybe. But,
yeah, kind of. But I mean, not quite to the same, not quite the same way.
They put a lot of effort into these ones, so they've made a whole load of music. But there's also DJ links between each of them, and even adverts. Some adverts for real stuff as well, like the Diet Tango advert that I remember hearing in the 90s. They're in here, like Diet Tango, you need it because you're weak.
Oh,
they're great.
Yeah. That was a real one, wasn't it?
They were real adverts, yeah, and they're in here. There's a lot of licensing in here. This, if this were a modern game, this would have been discontinued by now.
Yeah, it would, absolutely.
So the music was very varied. It's all by Richard Jakes as the composer. He's done like 2 albums worth of content with some lyrics by T.J. Davis. Do you know what this pair are also responsible for? A well-known soundtrack that you don't like, but I do.
No, go on.
Sonic R.
Oh no.
Yeah. There's Richard Jakes and T.J. Davis. You can hear doesn't do every track here, but when you hear it, you say that's the woman from Sonic R. Yeah. So there you go. So there's lots of I found some of the music quite it gets a bit repetitive, I would say. Like sometimes you retry races and you get the same kind of DJ links and the same. Oh, and here's a new one from like this fake artist, and then it's like and some of a couple of them are like, there's clearly one that's like a Will Smith type one, another one that's like an Oasis type one.
Yeah.
Did you hear those? And I also like some of the lyrics in them. They were just there's a couple that's made me laugh. Have I written them down? Oh yeah. So this is from the Will Smith one, which I don't know why this makes me laugh, but it just makes me chuckle. I didn't mean to trouble you. I'm just cruising along in my BMW.
Oh my!
I don't know why that makes me laugh. Yeah, and then in the San Francisco, there's like a western, like a country music station, isn't there? And there's like quite a jolly one about a guy talking about meeting a girl. And for some reason, the line here is, She had to buy some underwear. Asked if I could take her there.
Oh, it's dreadful.
It's good. Yeah. I don't know. There's a charm to it.
I
think
say.
I think there's a charm. I like this sort of cheesy music. I like the Sonic R soundtrack. It's good. It's all cheesy, but it's great. I like it.
I would say that in terms of fictional stations, you mentioned Grand Theft Auto. They also have a country and western station where they play music from Sideways, Hank O'Malley, and the Alabama Bottle Boys. Where the lyrics are, the menfolk found their women scary because they were so big and hairy.
There you go. That's just,
It's classic.
It's good. Sometimes these lyrics just stick with you, don't they?
They do.
Also, like the adverts, like particularly the London ones, obviously, because it's in parallel to what we kind of grew up with in this time around the late 90s, early noughties. Like it's there's something about any company that advertises their website. This is the era where they still say www.something.com. Like these days, no one includes www.
No one puts www.
You don't need it anymore, for one thing. But this is an era where everyone still thought you had to have that. So it's in the adverts for all these different companies and things like that. So I just thought that was quite funny.
www.com.
www. That's all I got to say about it, really. I did have one question. In general in car racing games, what's your preferred camera view? Do you like an in-car thing, or do you like to zoom out
I like the zoom out third person.
Yeah, me too. I think that
I like to see what car I'm driving. What's the point in picking all the different cars if you can't see the car?
I know, and I guess if you're a driver and you're into cars, maybe you want that in-car experience, like you're actually driving. But for us, we don't care about that, do we? We just want the.
No,
we're used to seeing an avatar, a thing that we're controlling, so we want that, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I sometimes do, like, especially on modern games, like older games. The internal view usually was just took the car away and zoomed in on the track a bit, so you would just sort of zoom in round. But I mean, modern racing games, they've got all modelled interiors, and you see the hands on the steering wheel and all that kind of thing. Sometimes I'll switch to that. Just for a bit, just to see what the inside of the car looks like, just to see, they've modelled that, that looks all nice. But it doesn't feel very comfortable to play that way. So I just, 9 times out of 10, I'm playing with the behind the car camera. And especially like going back to like games like Gran Turismo, they made, a big fuss about how you could customize the color of your car and things like that. But you're never looking at the bloody thing. What's it matter?
No, exactly.
No, external cameras all the way.
You got to see it, definitely. I ended up, because I had the default view for a while, which is sort of behind the car, but quite close to it. I ended up going all the way out by the end, just to give a more sense of the surroundings and the road up ahead, so you can see it a bit clearer. I liked it. I just every time the race started, all the way out.
Yeah. Although I will say there's a video that went viral on Twitter recently. I don't know who posted it originally. I don't know if I retweeted it, but there's a bloke. He's playing a racing game. He's made you get the racing rig, and it's all set up like the
multiple monitors, and they can. It's
He had that set up, but he was in like a warehouse, and it was on wheels. And as he steered and stuff, it was like spinning round and doing 360s and stuff and all that. And I thought, that's really great. All the engineering and all the thought that went into assembling that. But he's playing it with the external camera. I was like, well, what's the point in doing all that immersion?
Yeah.
And you were looking at the back of the car.
Well, yeah, that's if you're going to do that, the opposite rule applies. You want to be
exactly. The exact opposite rule applies.
Yes, immerse yourself in it. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Strange.
But strange. But yeah, no, a good game. I would give it my recommendation.
It's good, yeah, and I think it'll just go on for ages. Like, I'm going to carry on playing it here and there after this. I think I was already playing it a little bit before I picked it as the book club bit, because it's just really, there's something really engrossing about it. I kept coming back to this game, as much as I could, because I just wanted to get that little bit better. And I don't normally do that with these sorts of games. Like, once I've completed a mission, that's it. I don't really bother going back to it necessarily to get the best time. I'd be a terrible speed runner. Like, I don't really care. I just, as long as I've done it, that's the main thing, so I can move on. But this one I actually enjoyed having to go in there and saying, I could do this a little bit better. If I could just I can get this time, I'm going to try and go for that and just adjust the criteria accordingly. So it's really good for that. Yeah, definitely recommended.
Well, I met a girl named Mary Lou. Her dress was green, her eyes were blue. I said to her, hey darling, look at you. She smiled at me, she looked so fine. Her shapely body was divine. I couldn't help but look at her behind. Now she had to buy some underwear. Asked if I could take her there. I said, of course, my love, now don't despair. With that she sort of grinned at me. She put her hand upon my knee. I thought about how lucky I could be. Well, it's a long, long road to nowhere when you're traveling alone. It's a long and empty freeway if you end up on your own. When you've been to all the places and there's nowhere left to roam, go find yourself a woman and bring her home.
Okay, so what's happening next month then?
I don't know how you're going to feel about this, to be honest, but I thought about it, and I thought Medieval 2. No, I know we did a point and click. Well, I didn't do a point and click. You and Rick did all the discussion there. But I think you came away with that I don't think you were particularly enamoured with point and clicks after that. So I would like us to play Broken Sword 2.
Okay, cool.
I don't think we'll get through the whole game, but I want us to play to at least the dock side in Marseille, which isn't too far in the game. Okay. But I think that the Marseille level, I think, has got some cracking, lovely puzzles, some really funny dialogue, and the characters and everything up to that point. I think it's a really nice little game. You don't need to have played the first one to enjoy it. And I think, I just think it's a charming little game, and I wonder if it might be more up your street in terms of point and click games. So I think it's something. Yeah. I was thinking about adding to the book club at some point anyway, but the last show sort of brought it to the forefront, I think. So yeah, if you're up for it, I'm going to nominate Broken Sword 2, The Shadow of the Templars.
Okay.
Oh no, it's not. It's The Smoking Mirror. Broken Sword 2, The Smoking Mirror.
The Smoking Mirror, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a modern version of that, isn't there?
There is. Yeah.
Is that the same thing, or is that?
The modern one is the same thing. It relies on it's one of those sort of nostalgia sequels in that a lot of the puzzles, a lot of the characters and jokes and things are kind of callbacks to previous games. So I think if we played the more modern one, a lot of it would probably go over your head if you haven't played the older games.
So I need to go for like the PS1. Is it PS1?
PS1 and PC. It's on Steam. It's on PS1.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and it's
one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Scum VM supports it as well. So any emulator you've got any system that can run Scum, then you've got it run on that as well.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah, I'll give it a try. See if it can save point and clicks for me. I mean,
I think what got me, I played the demo. It was one of the first demos I got for my PlayStation when I got the PlayStation. Actually, it was one of the first games I got on the demo disc. And the demo is actually the Marseille level. That's probably why I remember that one most vividly. But the dialogue in it is just right up my street in terms of a sense of humour, and there's things I still quote to this day, and no one knows what I'm talking about, but I still quote it. So it'd just be interesting to see if it tickles your funny bone the same way it did mine, really.
Yeah, okay. I think we've got a fairly similar sense of humour, so I bet it will.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my pick.
That's what we're doing next month. Okay. For the month after, because it's episode 64, I thought we'd do a 64 special where we each bring either a Nintendo 64 or a Commodore 64 game to the party.
Okay.
So I thought you might be up for bringing a Commodore 64 game for that.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
And
Definitely.
I'll bring an N64 one, and we'll have an N64 special. What do you think?
I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah. Okay. So next month we'll reveal our individual picks for episode 64 then.
Question though.
Yes.
In terms of Commodore 64,
Mm-hmm.
would you be looking for me to pick something that I think represents the Commodore 64 in general, or something that really shows off what it was capable of, like hardware-wise, like, oh, look at what this machine could do, or something that captures the flavour of the time kind of thing?
Well, I've never played on a Commodore 64 game, I don't think.
Okay.
So maybe, but I don't know. It's up to you.
I'll have a think about it.
Have a think. See what you think. I don't really mind either way. You know, if you think something's a good game but isn't, not typical of Commodore 64, then yeah, whatever. I don't know. I don't mind.
There's a few that spring to mind. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna have I'll think about
All right.
that.
Cool. Okay, so that's episode 64. 63 will be Broken Sword 2. So that's our next couple of episodes mapped out for you.
Marvellous.
So in the meantime, you can contact us. We're on Twitter at podemup. Our website is podemup.live, where you can catch all our past episodes, and you can mail us, mail@podemup.live, I believe is the address, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
Okay, so please get in touch, because no one ever does, and we really want you to talk to us.
Not even going to bribe you with Steam keys anymore.
Nah, not even doing that anymore. You've had your chance. You haven't taken them up, so we're taking them away from you. You're gone.
Gone.
No, not really. You can contact us and ask for a Steam key, but be nice if more people got in touch.
Oh.
I'll just leave that there. Right, so that's about it, isn't it? Anything else you want to?
No, I think that's
anything else you want to say? Can't leave it on that note, really, can we?
No.
Anything else about cats? Any other cat anecdotes you got?
No. I just had a vision of like us in I don't know, episode 8004, like 90 years old in a nursing home. Again, it'd be nice if someone subscribed.
Yeah,
The nursing, yes, of course, Ollie.
Yeah.
They'll tune in next time. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. They'll come eventually. Keep doing those episodes. You'll be all right.
Give them the Steam key. Of course, you got the Steam keys. Of course.
We've got about 9,000 Steam keys to give away now.
But yeah, okay. Homework. Go fuss those cats.
Go what?
Fuss the cats.
Oh, fuss the cats. I thought you said flush the cats. Don't
Flush
the cats.
Don't
Don't flush the cats.
No.
Definitely not. No. Fuss the cats.
Fuss the cats.
And it's the puss, isn't it? Not
Yeah.
We want the puss, 2 fingers and a thumb.
Exactly.
Okay, low to the ground.
Exactly. It's very contextual. You've got to play it by ear. Sometimes it's the puss.
Mm.
There's a Russian guy on YouTube. The channel's Robin Saplut, and he just films himself going around and feeding stray cats around his block of flats. He tends to prefer the.
Oh yeah, sounds a bit abrasive, that, doesn't it?
It's so close to a hiss, so you don't want to come on too strong.
Oh no, you don't want to confuse them, do you?
No, but if you want to study different ways, he calls it the invitation for cats. So that's quite pro level. But anyway,
it sounds like it works for him.
Oh, it works for him, yeah. But I mean,
you wouldn't expect an amateur to go and try that straight away.
Exactly.
No, definitely. Okay. All right. Well, lots of tips there.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that, did we?
Tips from Tibbs.
Tips from Tibbs. Yeah, Tibbs' cat tips.
Yes. The new podcast, exclusive to Spotify.
Yes.
Signed a contract. Giving me the money they were giving to Joe Rogan. They've kicked him off. They're giving it to me. Tibbs' cat tips.
Tibbs' cat tips. Cool. Yeah, check it out. Right. See you next time then. Bye.
Bye.
The coolest cuts, the fattest sounds, the hippest grooves. This is K-Vibe 105.9 FM.
Watch out, sister. This is MC Momo, and let's get it on tonight.
Come on!
Woo! Just cruising. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Ha. Let's get it on tonight. Alright. When it goes a little something like this. Well, excuse me, sorry, but I didn't mean to trouble you. I was just cruising along in my BMW. When I saw you driving by, you caught my eye, and then I thought, why are you on your own, all alone? Talking with someone on the end of a phone. Is there another guy just waiting for you to get home? Ha! Girl, I should have known. So what's the deal between you and me? Can we get together, watch TV? I know there's a place that you'd rather be, where the money means nothing and the drinks are free. Let me take you there, no need to be aware. Did I tell you I'm a millionaire? Forget about him, I'll treat you right. Let me turn out the light, and we can get it on tonight. Ha! Come on! Yeah, let's get it on tonight. Well, alright, yeah, know what I'm saying? Woo! It's like that, all night, baby, come on. So you followed my car along the freeway. I gave you plenty of room, lots of leeway. We drove for a while, not more than a mile. Keeping in touch, talking on the mobile. The clock read 10 when we got to my mansion. The only thing that I could think about was expansion. We went into the kitchen and I poured some wine, and I thought to myself, ha ha, girl, you're mine. I told you to undress me, caress me, try to impress me, but just don't possess me. Do what you wanna do, anything you want to, that feels good. Please continue. Forget about him, now he's out of sight. Hey, it's me, I'll make it alright. So come on, why don't you turn out the light, and let's get it on tonight. Come on, huh? Say what, say what? Let's get it on tonight. Come on, woo! Let me hear it. Yeah. Let's get it on tonight. Now, come on. Verse 3. Early the following morning, the day was dawning. I got up yawning, saw you lying in my bed, scratching your head. And then you said to me,
where are you going, honey?
To make some money, I replied. What's so funny? You looked at me with the smile on your face like you wanted something, another embrace. So I paused for a minute to say goodbye. I really didn't want to make you cry. I left for work about 9:30. Forgot about what I'd left behind. The day was okay, kinda lazy, hazy. But when I got home, you really amazed me. I got through the door into my shared delight. You were still in bed. Hell, let's get it on tonight. Let's get it on tonight.